Hello, friends. I welcome to all of you to my initiative, and I am Audhendra Yadav. My point of discussion today is that the United Nations Charter has a way forward for nuclear disarmament under the United Nations Charter. I am giving you some detail about the nuclear development and the disarmament that the United Nation underwent through. On October 4, 1945, following its ratification by 5 great powers and a majority of other signatories, the Charter of the United Nations became effective from 4th October 1945. The Charter of the United Nations becomes effective. It assigned to the UN a major responsibility of preserving peace and security and to achieve disarmament. Disarmament means nuclear disarmament. Because of the repercussion that we get and the lesson we learned from Nagasaki and Hiroshima, the United States used the maximum power on the Japan in the Second World War. That led to that was the very dangerous thing could ever happen on the humanity. Many million people evaporated when this bomb was exploded on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So the United Nations, when formed in 1945, 4th October, he undertook to achieve the disarmament as earliest as possible, and this disarmament process is now going on. Its proliferation is under check to stop it, transfer technology or etc. I am detailing all the everything, every aspect. Okay, stay tuned with me. Article 11 of the Charter laid down that the General Assembly may consider the general principles of cooperation in the maintenance of international peace and security, including the principles governing disarmament and the regulation of armaments, and may take recommendations with regard to such principles to the members or to the Security Council or both. What is Security Council? Security Council has 5 permanent members and 10 non-permanent members. These non-permanent members comes to the chair for 2 years. Okay. And 5 permanent members are there. United States is one, China is second, Russia, and France and UK. They are the 5 permanent members. They decide various. I'm going to tell you what are their core actions. So, Article 11 said that to maintain the international peace and to regulate disarmament, armaments, etc. Article 26 of the Charter made the Security Council responsible, Security Council responsible for formulating plans to be submitted to the members of the United Nations. with the assistance of Military Staff Committee for the establishment of a system for the regulation of arms. This Military Staff Committee was expected to advise and assist the Security Council on all questions related to the military requirements for the maintenance of international peace and security, employment and committee command of the forces placed at its disposal, the regulation of armaments and possible disarmament. What they have made the Military Staff Committee, and this Military Staff Committee has the mandate to maintain international peace, security, employment, command of force. United Nations Security Council has already a force member, already a kind of military they have. They employ wherever there is heated zone there to settle the disputes. Okay. First one, Atomic Energy Commission. The dropping of atomic bomb immediately after the drafting of the United Nations Charter made the UN turn to this problem. United General Assembly adopted a resolution by which provision was made for the establishment of a commission on atomic energy. It was expected to make fruitful suggestions for the purpose of atomic energy for peaceful purposes and effective safeguards by way of inspection to protect the violation and evasion on the parts of the states. It recommended that an effective system on international control of atomic energy be established. However, the Soviet Union pleaded for the outlawing the production and use of atomic weapons. It sought destruction of all stocks of atomic weapons within a period of 3 months. USSR, Soviet Union, said that I will destroy my nuclear stock within 3 months. On 4th November 1948, the General Assembly rejected the USSR proposal regarding draft convention on the prohibition of atomic weapons and establishment of effective international control over the atomic energy. No process could be made in the direction of disarmament. Okay. Because of the attitude of USA, USA always portraying himself that I am the sole protector of humanity and human right, human values. I only preserve, according to USA, United States of America. But when it comes to the disarmament, the United States attitude was different. In the 4th November 1948, the USSR, even Russia, proposed that we both have to disarm this nuclear weapons because it has the very, its impact is very huge. If you are a person of to respect the human values, you definitely have to said that these mass destruction weapons must be disarmed. But USSR attitude was very different. USSR, United States, was unwilling to give up the possession of bombs already in its custody and stop production of new ones without the guarantee of an international inspection. Are you getting what I'm saying? Once USSR proposed, the USA rejected it. When USA rejected it, then Russia also said that I am not going to do it. because there was a direct competition between USSR and USA, and it is still going on. Yeah, when we both were in the phase of Cold War. On the other hand, USSR opposed the plan of international inspection on the ground that it violates the sovereignty of the states. When this Atomic Energy Commission was made, its purpose was to inspect and go into the state territory and inspect any activities should not go there. Disarmament should not be said to go. Okay, they have to check on. So, International Inspection Team, IAEA, which is now is doing, he went into the Iran to inspect the sites of where they were developing their nuclear weapons. It came to India as well. It is an international body which it does inspection for non-proliferation of these weapons. So Russia said that it is a violation of sovereignty of the state. Okay. Therefore, the Atomic Energy Commission suspended its work for an indefinite period, though the sponsoring powers were able to arrive at some basis for agreement. Thus, the political consideration overshadowed the activities of the Atomic Energy Commission. It could not achieve any success. There was a political fight between two blocs and they stopped working. Even you have to think of United States rejected many times and it is still rejecting. He is saying I would definitely have to be a nuclear weapon. He is not going to disband their program. But they have thought only I have to stock these destructive weapons, but the rest of the world must have to free it. It is a kind of king, and everybody must have to obey the. If you have the nuclear weapon, no world power can defeat you. Nuclear weapon has already a capacity to win the war in a single go. And second thing, the Commission on Conventional Armaments. I am leaving it. Okay, I am only focusing on Disarmament Commission. On October 1950, Disarmament Commission there was made. October 1950, and again into the November 1951, the President Truman of United States made a suggestion to the United Nations General Assembly to merge the work of Atomic Energy Commission and the Conventional Armament Commission. Okay. On 11 January 1952, the General Assembly asked for the merger of two commissions into a single commission known as Disarmament Commission. What is Commission on Conventional Armaments? The purpose of General Assembly Resolution of December 1946. This commission was set up by the Security Council in February 1947. It was expected to prepare and submit to the Security Council within a 3-month proposal for the general regulation and reduction of armaments and armed forces. Okay, and it would suggest practical and effective safeguards. It was not permitted to discuss the issues concerning atomic weapons and their controls. Okay, conventional weapons means, guns, etc., which is not nuclearized weapons. They said that the armed forces, which not should be the strength of a state to defend themselves, they don't have to kind of lot of personnels and military strength so that they can challenge the world order again, because of they came out of the Second World War 45. Okay, so they took this control, and they expected that armed forces must be limited and armaments must be reduced to a certain limit so that there could be no third war. But what is now, it is, I think, can be said that these conventional weapon convention is a failed institution, because there is every country is pouring billions of dollars for their armaments. Even though conventional armaments, bombs, etc., they are making lot of jet fighters, etc., missiles are being developed into the great length. Setting up of a system for the regulation and reduction of armaments, which shall include all states having substantial military resources. Creation of an atmosphere of international confidence and security, because of measures for reduction and regulation of armaments could succeed only after necessary confidence has been created. Establishment of an adequate system of agreement under Article 43 of the Charter established of international control of atomic energy and conclusion of peace settlement with Japan and Germany. The reduction of armaments and armed forces to the extent they were indispensable for the maintenance of international peace and security. Provisions of adequate safeguards and effective enforcement action in the case of violation. These 6 were the mandate given to the Conventional Armaments Commission. Okay, the Soviet Union opposed these recommendations. Okay, it insisted that atomic weapons should not be excluded from the purview, and a body should be established for the supervision of reduction of armaments and prohibition of atomic weapons. This was not acceptable to Western powers. Finally, the General Assembly adopted a resolution urging the Commission to continue its work and to formulate proposal for receipt, checks and publication of international organs for control all information with regard to their conventional armament, as the Soviet Union refused to take part in the deliberation of the Commission. It could not go very far in the direction of regulation of reduction in armaments. If I give you some this kind of statistics, who is the supplier of these conventional weapon in present time, who has the maximum export strength for these weapons? I would say the first one is the United States. Every state boundary where there is a dispute, 192 countries in the United Nations, excluding European Union, where NATO's presence are there. Everywhere, wherever the countries they are on differences on the borders have. United States siding one side, taking side to one country and pouring a lot of weapon into that. They have the industry to, they have a lot of export they are doing. And this is the against their mandate of Commission on Conventional Armaments. What was the purpose of this conventional armaments? The purpose was to check on balance and stop these conventional weapons spread. Even though you have to see the terrorists what they are doing, where they are getting weapons. Two years before, when United States of America went from Afghanistan, what they did there? They left there lot of arms, even helicopters there. I think in a calculation $80 billion their military armaments they left there in the hands of terrorists, Taliban. What could repercussions there will be in this region? It could be seen in next 10 to 25 years. It is not very clear visible on this time, because they are negotiating with the countries. They are expecting that they will get some recognition by the world powers. But if they not get it, what they will do? They will use these weapons to terrorize the state. They supported their fighters' jets to Pakistan to sabotage India. They even being supplied their weapons to Cyprus to check on Turkey. They have poured their lot of weapons into Africa. Everywhere, every country in Africa, wherever the war is going on, the arms, conventional guns, etc. came from the United States. So you have to think what they does, what they say.